Rememento White Shadow has finally come to global. And if this felt like it came out of nowhere, you're not alone. Only those like me who scour every nook and cranny of the web for the slightest morsel of Rememento news knew the status of this game. They've done zero marketing for what should have been a huge release. But what I'm going to do in this video is quickly run through some things you might want or need to know if you're diving into Rememento for the first time. And if you've played the Korean version, this may just be a helpful refresher. I'm Shrike, like, comment, and subscribe for more gacha content, and join my Discord for a chill place to hang out if you like gacha games. Links in the description. So first, before anything else, how do you get the game? Well, their website rememento.com has the download for the PC client, and when the mobile client is available, that may be there as well. Or they may put it on the Play Store. Sources of information if you're interested are the unofficial Rememento Discord, official one is dead, and the Neighbor Lounge. Links to both will be in the description. Now to the basics of the game. This is a dark fantasy style, mostly open world, turn-based combat game. Now when I say mostly open, I mean that buildings will have loading screens, and certain sections of the map are locked until you've reached the corresponding points in the story. But within that framework, you can run, jump, ride your mount, jump with that mount. There's no climbing or gliding, but it's not really necessary. There's not too much verticality. The hub is a place you'll be spending most of your time, so I just want to briefly go over some things you'll find there. The resource conversion station that most gacha games have to either combine low-level resources into higher ones or vice versa. There's also the blacksmith, where you can craft custom gear using a red crystal resource that you can acquire from one of the dungeons I'll get to later on. There's a cat shop with very expensive items. Be wary here. They only cost coins, but they do cost a lot of them, and you will need coins for most things in the game. The arena station is here, where you would participate in the PvP, and also the Kaleido, which controls your world level. You'll have goals to meet in order to raise that level, and once you do, it will increase the difficulty of the entire world, including bosses, as well as unlocks the higher difficulty dungeons, which can allow you to farm much more efficiently. But be careful not to over-level your Kaleido, or you could find yourself unable to defeat simple overworld mobs, and you'll be locked out of game progression for some time. Now we'll go into combat. You'll encounter enemies wandering around the open world, and you can engage them in battle. You bring up to 4 teammates into battle, and everyone shares a mana pool. Mana is used to cast every one of their 5 skills except the basic attack and passive, with the cost increasing with the tier of the skill. Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4. So you need to manage your resources well in order to succeed. There is an elemental system that can make a real difference in battle. Fire units will have an advantage over nature ones, nature over water, water over fire, and light and dark units will counter each other. Attacking an enemy with an advantageous attribute causes guard damage and can break the enemy's defense, sending them into a staggered state. There is an attack gauge system to show when a character or enemy's turn is coming up, and there are ways to speed up a unit in that order or even slow an enemy down. Aside from the PvE encounters, there's also PvP. This is against AI, not real-time, but real-time arena is in the works. Here you can fight teams created by the game itself, or teams created by other players. So now on to characters. I've mentioned the elements they can be, water, fire, nature, light, and dark, but there's also roles they can be: attacker, debuffer, shielder, support, and healer. You level them up to certain points using a certain resource, and then you have to use breakthrough material to get them past breakpoints, and then level them up more until the next breakpoint, and so on, until you get to a current maximum level of 80. Each character has attack, defense, health, speed, crit rate, crit damage, effect hit, essentially debuff accuracy, and effect resist, essentially the opposite. The weapons in the game are called remementos, and they are pretty much light cones from HSR. A character can use any rememento of their role, so an attacker can use any attacker rememento. But there will often be one that's designed for a certain character, and those will have their character's likeness on them to make it easier. There are 8 gear sets in the game, with more planned for the future, some 2 sets and some 4. That refers to how many of the same set it takes to gain the set bonus. There's the attack set, which grants 15% to attack when you have 2 of them on a character. Crit rate, another 2 set, which grants 12% crit rate. Speed set, our first 4 set, which grants 22% speed. The health set, a 2 set, 15% more health. Defense, 2 set, 15% more defense. Crit damage is a 4 set, which grants 40% more crit damage. And the effect hit and effect res sets, both 2 sets, that grant 20% effect hit or effect res respectively. Within each set, the pieces are also unique. There are 6 slots: head, chest, neck, arm, legs, and feet. They come in different rarities too, from the weakest green through blue, purple, and yellow up to the strongest red. As you get higher in tiers, the more substats are on it by default, so when you gain an extra substat at levels 3, 6, 9, and 12, instead of just gaining one, it'll stack onto what's already there. So while the stats are mostly RNG, the ceiling is raised quite a bit when you get to higher tier gear. As for main stats though, some pieces are locked. Feet are locked to defense, head is locked to attack, and arms are locked to HP. And the others have their own list of possible main stats too. Chest can have attack, defense, HP, and speed. Legs can have attack, defense, HP, and effect hit. And neck can have attack, defense, HP, and effect resist. This is often done to ensure that even if you min-max a character, you're somewhat forced to make them balanced. It also means that people will be farming the crap out of the chest pieces because they're the only ones that can have speed as a main stat. Now we reach the skills. Within the character's skill page, you'll notice two types of icons. Some smaller and less impressive looking, and some bigger and more important looking. The smaller ones are the regular stat upgrades like speed, attack, crit damage, etc. that you can level up 3 times per node by using a farmable resource. The bigger ones are the dupe system. Each one corresponds to one of their skills. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, or Tier 4, the ultimate, and even the passive. Each one can be upgraded once, so each unit requires a total of 5 dupes to fully max out. The effect of the dupes is pretty significant, and if your goal is to clear all endgame content or crush in PvP, you may need some of them. Let's go over the gacha system now, possibly the most important system in any gacha game. There are 2 types of pull currency, standard and limited, corresponding to the 2 standard banners, 1 character and 1 rememento or weapon, and the 2 limited, one the raid up debut character and the other the raid up for the character's signature rememento. If using crystals, each pull will cost 160 or 1600 for a 10 pull. As you pull on a banner, you will gain pity shards for that type of banner, standard shards for the standard banner and limited shards for the limited one. Regardless of what you get from the banner, these will never disappear until and unless you go into the exchange shop and use them. The limited banner character will cost 120 of these limited shards, but you can just grab the new character or the new weapon without having to pull for them if you have enough of the shards. Same goes for the standard, except the pool of characters is all the 5-star characters currently in the standard pool, which also includes any previous limited banners, since they enter the standard pool when the banner ends. Another difference is that the standard ones cost 200 to flat out purchase a 5-star character or 5-star weapon. The method has its ups and downs. We don't get a 50-50, and we can never reach a point where we have a higher likelihood of acquiring a character. However, you also can never accidentally lose your pity by trying to build it up on one banner in preparation for the next. You only need that to happen once in order to know the pain. All that built up pity just gone and stuck with a character you didn't want. But this way, if that happens, the character is just a bonus. You still have that pity built up until you choose to spend it. Also, while you're summoning, you'll be receiving orbits of glory and traces of glory. The orbits will allow you to flat out purchase dupes, not originals, but dupes of a 5-star character, including the current limited one, or 50 of them. And the traces of glory will allow you to purchase dupes of the 4-star characters, also for 50, but you can earn them faster than the 5-star ones, of course. Next, let's talk about rates. For the limited banner, the rates are 1% for the raid up character, 0.75% for the RGB 5-star, and 0.25% for the LD 5-star. Exact same for the limited Rememento banner. The standard banners, both character and Rememento, have a 1.75% chance of getting an RGB 5-star, and a 0.25% chance of getting an LD 5-star. And the limited banners run every 3 weeks, with, like I said, the old limited characters joining the standard pool along with their weapon once they leave. Let's discuss dungeons and events now, starting with dungeons. If you've played Honkai Star Rail, it's the Calyxes, higher difficulties of which are locked behind the Kaleido levels I mentioned earlier. But this is where you could farm your gear and level up and breakthrough materials. There is a quasi-sweep function that allows you to set how many runs you'd like to do, and then you fight one match, and it auto-completes the rest of them. Scars of Corruption are 6 calyxes, 1 for each element, which will reward you with crystals the first time you clear each difficulty, and then allow you to farm breakthrough material for the corresponding element. The Sanctuary is where you would farm gear and skill mats. The highest rarity gear you can farm here is yellow at 8. Purple starts at 6, 4 is blue, and 2 is green. Sometimes they hold a temporary extra rewards event for this dungeon. Tangled Chaos has 6 different varieties, each one rewards you with level up, weapon up, and breakthrough materials. Fragment of Thought is your typical boss battle dungeon. 2 boss options, 10 difficulties each, rewards you with higher tier gear. The Dragon Boss rewards you with the attack set, crit rate set, and effect hit set. And the Lady Boss rewards you with the speed set, HP set, defense set, and effect res set. The highest rarity gear in the game, Red, can be acquired from level 8 and above in this dungeon. The Abyss Lake is a roguelike tower mode with 30 floors of increasing difficulty that reward you with red shard currency I mentioned earlier, that you can use in crafting custom gear at the blacksmith. This mode resets weekly. The Abyss Corridor has 2 difficulties, with 3 possible stars per stage that you can acquire, and a maximum of 120 stars in total, 90 for the easy mode and 30 for the hard mode. This one rewards you with premium currency as well as level up, gear up, and weapon up materials. This one resets monthly. Monster Subjugation is 1 location with a battle for each element, and you just keep fighting through higher and higher difficulties of that fight until you can't anymore, and then you're rewarded for however far you got. You can grind some levels and then come back and re-attempt from right where you left off to. Now let's switch gears to events. There's a roulette that you can spin once a day for a chance to win some rewards, and it has milestone rewards as you go too. Every 3 weeks the event shop will open with a different event rewarding a different currency to use in that shop. Artness's first purchase gift will reward you for spending money. Last event will tie into Rerolling since it's the beginner's weekly sign-in event. When you start a new account, you'll get 10 standard pulls a day for 6 days and then a 5-star selector for the standard banner. Now for the Rerolling section. So once you meet Glass and unlock the banner system, which if you skip everything you can do in under 30 minutes, you will receive a Lyria for free in the mail and your 10 standard pulls from the sign-in event. 110 free crystals from the shop, 100 from the first reward from the Lantern of Memory. The first 10 pull is set in stone though. They give you the pulls and you get glass from it. There is a selector banner where you can select one of 4 standard banner characters and you're guaranteed to get it within 50 pulls. You can get it early too, and when you do, it disappears. Here is when you would put in any redeem codes you have or collect any achievement rewards or compensation they sent us through the mail, and then do your summons on whichever banner you want. But I recommend if you're re-rolling not to do so on the banner on which you're guaranteed the result. It defeats the purpose of re-rolling. You have that character guaranteed, it will be waiting there for you when you lock in an account you want to keep. Instead, do your pulls on the limited if you like that character, or if you want to build up shard pity for it, or on the standard if, for instance, you're re-rolling for an LD like Ferranci, Libertas, or Xeon. And if after your summons you don't like what you got, go to the settings, delete your account, and try again. It's a slow process compared to emulators and salted emails with guest accounts, but it's our only option if you're determined to start with your favorite characters. Which brings me to re-roll targets and selector targets. Chloe is a very good healer and can carry you even into high rank PvP if built well. She is a solid investment. Artness is an AoE damage over time unit. She excels in PvE but won't do you many favors in PvP. However, the speed gear set dungeon is nature element, so taking a fire element into it will help you and you'll likely be farming that dungeon a lot. As for LD units, they will be far more rare than the RGB units, but that's for good reason. Xeon is a decent attacker, but Ferranci is a crazy good mana battery. After she uses her ultimate, you'll have enough mana for your whole team to use their ultimates, which could be the difference between winning and losing a PvP match. Bernice isn't bad. She can be annoying to deal with in PvP until you know how to answer her. And for PvE, she can help if your units are a bit underpowered. I will say that 8 limited banners have passed in the Korean server by the time this server is opened. So it's possible that all those characters we missed will be in the standard pool already, and if that's the case, prime reroll target is Libertas. Best of the best. If your enemy has a Libertas, the only hope you have to win is to have your own Libertas, and if theirs goes first, you still lose. She's that good. The first limited unit for the Korean side was the flawless Isania. I gave her everything I had, maxed out her dupes, skills, and gave her the best gear. She carried me through most of the game. Not too great in PvP, but I still don't regret building her. Solid PvE powerhouse. Fire AoE that can get extra turns. Beatrice is very good, not broken, but a strong unit for both PvE and PvP. well-rounded. Diana is a crazy useful support unit that almost everyone in high-ranking PvP uses. Some definite whiffs are Ravi, who is a tank and can be used to great effectiveness in the Turtle team with Rampart or Bernice, and Chloe, and then a damage dealer. The whole point of that team is to keep that one DPS alive at all costs. But outside that team, she's not that great. Also, Enos is a goofy hybrid DPS healer who, as most hybrid characters are oft to do, ends up failing at both roles. And some free-to-play powerhouses to round this guide off are Pluto, which gives a team-wide attack buff and can AoE defense break the enemy, and Stein, who is a mini Feranzi, a mana battery. And some say does an even better job at it than she does. Personally, I've never used her. I just don't like the character, and I'd rather suck at a game than use a character I don't like, but that's just me. And I think that just about covers all the basics. There's more to go into, but not in a beginner's guide. I'll go into more detail for some things like best teams for certain dungeons or character build guides in other videos, so if you're interested in that, remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it when I post them, and join the Discord if you haven't. I'm gonna fly now. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.